Welcome to the Horses and Holy Moments podcast.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Ingela.
Hi, Corrie.
I am so happy we are here today. We are just going to jump right in with a question for Ingela. And my question today is, you differentiate between training versus relationship. Could you explain that to us?
Wow, yes, that's a big subject. But for me, there is a distinct difference between horse training or building a relationship with a horse. Now, what I do, I first focus on building a relationship in order to then train the horse. Not get the horse and start to train the horse and through the training build a relationship. I think that's really coming at it from the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I think those that are listening and myself, we do want that relationship with our horses. So how do you build more of a relationship rather than just training?
Okay, so one of the things that's really, really important is that the horse always looks at our hearts. So what we feel, the state of our own heart, if we are in a place of peace, relaxed, in the moment, and have a heart that is full of love and full of joy, and we ourselves are in that place. When we are in that place in our own hearts, it also affects our own autonomic nervous system. And the horse always reads our heart and also reads our autonomic nervous system. They are aware of our breathing. They are aware of our heartbeat.
Wow.
So they are influenced by what they perceive from us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In the very same way as if they're out and a predator is coming like a lion. This is not happening in Europe, but in Africa, for example, right? The horse will know, is this predator sleepy, relaxed, full, has just eaten and no intention to hunt the horse? Or is that predator in hunting mode, hungry, intense, and the horse looks at this for his own survival? This is really, really important.
Wow.
So how we are, our inner state, is absolutely influencing how the horse feels about us and how the horse's autonomic nervous system responds to us. That's why you can have a person with a horse and the horse is completely spun out, super nervous, and then you can have another person coming along and instantly the horse calms down. 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then the horse is already calm. Have you seen that before?
Yes, absolutely. I have. It is amazing. And you tend to think, what did they do?
Yes, and when we say, what did they do? We often look for outer things, but it's all inner.
Internal.
Yes. So when we talk about relationship versus training, we know we can take a horse and teach him things. Right? We can teach him things on the ground. We can teach him to accept the saddle and the bridle. We can teach him to be ridden, walk, trot, canter, turn, and develop him all the way to Olympic level.
Right.
It doesn't mean we actually have a relationship with the horse. It is possible for a human to so-called, what are called, use the horse in a way like a motorbike, even though it's a living, breathing being that makes choices and has feelings, and just train it. And for that, we will need an amount of pressure because horses always move away from pressure. It can be external pressure, like on a bridle, on a bit, with the legs, with a stick, on a halter, or it can be internal pressure that comes from the inside of the human when they're pushing and say, you will trot now, like right now or else. So horses always move away from pressure. Unless they get restrained or restricted and they can't, so then they will fight.
Okay, wow. That's amazing. I mean, we know that they move away from pressure. So if you're looking at relationship, it's obviously different. And how would you build that? I know you talked about the heart.
Yeah. So I'm interested in building a heart connection with my horse.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, the horse has to have a choice.
Okay.
If we take the element of choice away, well, we're building a robot.
Right.
So there is in a way, like two ways a horse becomes a robot. Either we take away choice, we force him, we make him do things. This can be done gently. It's the attitude behind that, right? No choice, nothing to say. Then the horse actually doesn't feel seen, heard, felt, or understood. The four things that are extremely important to horses.
Wow.
Okay. So we can take that away, the choice, or the other way, which is what normally happens. Most people love their horses so much, they don't set out to say, oh, I'm taking my horse's choice away. I'm going to force him to do that. I don't meet many people like that.
Right.
It is more that the person doesn't have the knowledge. They don't know how to build the relationship. They know maybe how to train. So they set off with a heart of loving the horse. They have fun with the horse. They enjoy the horse. But even in that process, they tend to make him a robot.
Wow.
Example. Let's say a person has sent a horse on the ground on a circle.
Okay.
A young horse. Okay?
Yep.
So now the horse is out there trotting. It trots for a little while and then it walks. 99% of the time, the person in the middle will immediately respond when the horse walks and either ask for a trot again or block the horse. And by block, I mean basically put pressure on until the horse trots again.
Right.
Right? So the person's expectation is that the horse keeps trotting.
Yes.
If the horse drops into a walk, the person does something, comes alive, does something, uses the rope, uses the stick until the horse trots again. And the moment the horse trots, they go to so-called neutral. So this is effective in horse training because horses move away from pressure. Pretty soon the horse figures out, aha, I am asked to trot, I trot. As long as I keep trotting, they leave me alone. They take the easy way, the more comfortable way.
Right.
If, however, I slow down to a walk, there is pressure.
Right.
So we could say, oh, the horse learns to keep trotting. Then we end up with a very obedient horse, but not a horse that's internally free, connected, heart connected, and in a living, breathing, interactive, attentive, curious relationship with us. Because most of the time when we do it this way, we are not in the same thought and energy as the horse.
Okay.
So we are giving him an instruction. You trot while I stand here. Now, of course, we're not expected to run with our horses in all gaits. But for the horse, that would be natural. They do everything together in the so-called we. We call it we, not the I, right?
That's right.
Humans, I do this and you do this. And he hasn't done that. And I asked him. And then I asked him and he wouldn't do. Or I asked something else and he did something else. And I said stop and he didn't stop. You, he, or I, he,
Exactly.
I, you. And not we didn't stop, we didn't go, we were a little late. You know, the horses think as a herd, as one. They are a one horse body.
Together.
So when we are individualizing them from us, we are making them a robot. We give them no choice.
Right.
So what does that look like? This looks like I stand in the middle. I give my horse instruction. There is pressure for that instruction. The horse moves away from the pressure and follows what it's told. Now, the moment he's done it, I leave him alone, but I switch off from him. I just expect him to stay in that movement, to do it until I say otherwise, until I say stop, until I say canter. I want him to keep trotting. That's how we build a robot. Now, on the contrary, if I would like to build a heart connection, there's of course many other aspects to that we do first. But as an example, as an illustration, when it comes to trotting a circle, I would use a thought for trotting. I open the space in front of the horse. We know they're very sensitive to space. They go into open and available space. They do that in the herd. You know, a dominant horse will say, no. This space here by the water trough is mine. The other horses can feel that. They don't take that space. They go to a space that is open. So we're not doing that in a dominant way, but horses are sensitive to this. They know what space is open, what space is available, what is closed and unavailable. So we would open the space in front of the horse. Then if we have trot energy in our body and we actually would like our horse to mirror us and follow our thoughts and energy, rather than we have to use such massive body cues and use a touch, be that our legs or the bit or the stick or whatever, we use the energy that we would like the horse to be in. And then next we would use a body cue. We might point to the front, okay? And fourthly, we would use the rope. That would be a touch, a physical touch that the horse can feel. Forward. We could use also a stick. First touch the air, then the hair, then the skin, then the muscle, using lead phases. You know, so we always pause after every time.
Yes.
We use a touch, we pause, we say, did you hear me? And then we go back to using the thought and the energy, because that's what we want the horse to hear. The touch is just pick up the phone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
So
exactly.
we need to pick up the phone before we can start talking. Now, the moment that horse trots, we don't drop our energy. We don't go to neutral. We don't just leave him out there while we think about chicken dinner or check our phone. We stay actively engaged, meaning we are staying in trot energy while the horse goes around on a circle. So I had the thought of trot and I opened the space. Now my energy is for trot. And I want to give the horse the together feeling. So now we are trotting together on that circle in the so-called we. Now the horse is trotting. And I am internally, I'm not trotting. I'm not running with my physical body. I'm also not whipping on the spot or dancing on the spot. I just feel the same amount of energy that I would need to run or that my horse needs to run. And I let that flow out and I keep letting it flow out. So I'm staying in the trot energy. And this gives the horse the feeling that we're doing this together. So therefore, the moment I drop my energy, my horse should stop because it's no more flowing together. Right? So this is just one little example of actually doing things with horses and being in the relationship instead of making the horse a robot or just training him so he's obedient. And this creates interest in the horses. They listen, they want to be, they're curious because they get the feeling of the herd.
Yes, it's beautiful.
That's important to them.
It's so beautiful because they can feel it and we can feel it, and it just I don't know, it's just an amazing feeling, and the fact they can just feel the energy even though you're not running around. It's all just, I love it. And I love that we can build that relationship. And I I would say if we want to circle back to just our relationship with God, would you agree that, I mean, I know you would agree, but any thoughts on when we look at that with our own relationship with God?
Well, when I'm thinking about it, is Jesus says to follow him, right? And that he leads us with his eyes. So this is not some big push where he is forcing us. There is no punishment involved. Jesus is this amazing person. There's none like him. And he invites us into the relationship. He doesn't force us.
Right.
He doesn't put pressure and say, you have to come to me. You have to believe in me. You have to follow me. It's an invitation. Come to me and I will give you rest. All of you who are weary, come to me and I will give you rest. So why? Because he is love, he is peace, he is joy. And as we go to him, follow him, go with him, we experience his beautiful love, his beautiful peace, his beautiful rest in that relationship with him. And for me, for the horse, because it looks at our heart, right? If we're talking just briefly here about building a relationship versus training. We know we can take a horse, we can put pressure and make him do things.
Right.
That in any shape or form, kind and light, or all the way to very forceful, it's still training. It is not relationship. Okay? To me, that's a little bit like religion. It's following a concept of rules and regulations, a concept of God without a living relationship where we experience him. So then in horses, when we not train, but we first focus on building the relationship, the most important thing for the horse is it wants us to be with him, present. So that looks something like when we go to the horse, we go with no agenda, but we need to be actively engaged with joyful expectation because it's fun. But we go there and make sure we're very, very present. And the state of our heart is important. We need to be calm, relaxed, with a heart full of love. The horse feels that. And then he's able to connect to us. If we are stressed, well, our heart rate will be up, okay? Our breathing will be different. The horse is reading us and he is not able to stay calm or want to be with us.
Right.
It is pressure. He is going to go, okay, what's going on here? I don't like it. And he is going to go away from this pressure. He's leaving, at least mentally and in his heart, and he'll be a little bit more aware of us. And then his autonomic nervous system is also not very balanced. The sympathetic will be more activated, all of those things. So step one would be for the horse to be able to connect to us. So we need to be present in the moment, really there for him in a calm, loving, peaceful, joyful state, and demand nothing and do nothing. Allow the horse to be with us, to be together. And from that place we look, what can we now do together as we go forward from here, from that place? So because the horse is always, first of all, checking our heart and watching our heart and totally aware of our nervous system, right? This is absolute key. It's not nothing. So building the relationships for me starts with that, being present, being in the right place in our heart. And then from there, we put the horse into the love bubble. And the next step would be, we want to tell the horse who we are. We take the lead mare position. We communicate that to the horse from our heart, meaning the lead mare is responsible for safety and for decision making. So if I go into a field with a horse, one of the first things I would do is I don't go to the horse. Lead mares don't just go to the horse. They don't greet. They don't say, hi, good morning, how are you? Like humans do. I would do my job. I would walk across the field. I stop. I check for predators. I relax because there's none. I go to another place. I stop. I look. I listen. And I relax. Okay?
Wow.
So once I've done that, this already is signaling to the horse who I am.
Yeah.
Then, when the horse comes and interacts with me, even before he chooses me as the lead and chooses to follow, he is probably going to come and check my ranking.
Okay.
He's going to ask, am I safe? Who are you? Okay. And then you're going to see the horse reach out to you. And when the horse reaches out, I interact with the horse right away. When they reach out to me, I tell them I see it. I notice it. I don't just ignore it. I also reach out to them. And then they usually sniff. They sniff the hand. They sniff us, right? And then they analyze, who are you? Am I safe? Right?
Right.
Are you the lead? Are you dominant? Are you passive? And in that, the horse might push a little bit. So he might push just with like 50 grams or 100 grams. But you as a human, you can feel, is he sniffing or is he pushing?
Okay.
Right?
Right.
If he is pushing, then I will block that. I quickly move my fingers, shake my hand, something to say, this is my personal space. And I notice that push.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If we ignore that, the horse already knows, okay, you're passive, you moved your body back, you let me push you, and that tells the horse who we are right there.
Wow.
Okay? It right away tells the horse, okay, you are passive.
Yes.
But we as humans, we love that when the horse comes and he sniffs our face and then he takes our face and he puts his face around our face and kind of gives us a hug by pulling us into his neck, you know. We love it. We say, oh, a horse loves me. Probably not. Probably it puts him into self-protection. He now knows he has to look out for himself.
Yes. You've taught me this.
Yes. So this is the very, very beginning of just a couple of things regarding focusing on building relationship versus training. And I think we need to talk lots more about this.
Oh, yes.
But the one start of it is that the difference is we don't just approach the horse and start with exercises and teaching the horse how to move his body and how to behave. We start in giving ourselves to the horse, then establishing who we are, and then in that process allowing the horse to not only make a decision about who we are, but to choose. Choose to follow us as the lead or not yet.
Yes.
Then we work on this until the horse chooses us as lead and comes into this relationship, and then we build the relationship. And from that place, once the horse has freely chosen us, and that happens at liberty, and now the horse has freely chosen to follow us without pressure, then we're going to see, now when I make a suggestion, now, is my horse taking this suggestion? Is he following? Is he saying yes? Does he want to? This is where you give the horse a complete choice, no pressure. And we do that first with something called find the herd, and then becoming part of the herd to see if the horse even accepts us in movement. Are they okay when I move and he moves, or is he afraid? So we start there, and I think we need to talk about that another time, right?
Yes,
it's a
that'd be
big subject, but that on today will be the first little insight into training versus relationship.
Wow, that's awesome. Yes, this episode has been so good, Ingela. I there's so much to unpack with everything that you've talked about. So thank you so much. It's been great. We hope this episode blesses all our listeners, and we hope you just are blessed with your horses and grow in your relationship with your horses and with Jesus. So we will see you next time.
Yeah, we will see you next time. It was fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Horses and Holy Moments podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode.